Hello everyone, welcome back to another new video, an F1 Esports video once again. I said in the last video I ran out of content regarding F1 Esports. I was wrong. Apologies for that, but I've brought you a video. It's qualifying based, as you may have guessed by the title. Qualifying is brutal in F1 Esports. You're about to find out why and how tricky it is to try and qualify near the front. I haven't quite cracked that yet in F1 Esports, but you're going to figure out and see why I found it so difficult this year, because the level is just, it's different gravy. So, going into the lap, the final lap in Q1 we have to do, P9 at the moment, but you're never too safe in F1 Esports. Going into turn 1, down to 4th gear, hold it in 4th for the left, up to 5th for the right for Brazil. So 106.218 at the moment. It's not a bad time for Q1, being brutally honest, but there's definitely a little bit of time there. We're half a tenth up on the Delta, going down to turn 4. It's very easy to take too much on the way in here, but we kind of get the balance just right. We lose a little bit on the exit, to be fair, but it's still not the end of the world. I know there's a bit of time to come in Sector 2 as we approach the long uphill right-hander in 6th gear. Brake nice and late for this next right-hander. If you miss the apex a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It's just about braking really late there. Rotate the car nice and early there to get on the power earlier. And then nice late apex for this right-hander. Get good traction on the exit. We don't get a good exit there, but we're still almost a tenth up. So it's definitely an improvement on our PB at the moment. Purple Sector 2. Through the final corner, up to 5th to minimise wheel spin, and we're a 10th up. From this moment on, you know you're not going to make any more mistakes. It's just one long straight, basically. So, shortest run to the line, 106.105. So in Q1, pretty happy with that. I know there's a little bit more there, obviously, maybe in the right-hand hairpin. But as we move to Q2, this is where it starts to get really interesting, because we're leaving the pits, as you can see, on our out lap, the final run in Q2, currently on a 106.252, so not the strongest start to the session, P13 at the moment. So at this stage, we wouldn't be going through. We need to be in the top 10 to get into Q3, like in real life F1. So we need a big lap in this final lap. Fortunately, with this track being so short, you get 2 bites of the cherry. So if I mess up the first sector in the first attempt, I can kind of go down on the fuel mix, save my ERS, have a slow lap, and then have time to have one more go at it. So I get 2 bites of the cherry. On this out lap, I'm making sure I get a decent amount of heat into the tyres, but not too much. You're looking for around 88, 89 degrees, depending on the track. Core temperature in the tyres, so we're a little bit high, but the straight after this will cool them down a little bit. And I mean, F1 Esports qualifying is incredibly tough, the toughest challenge I've found in sim racing throughout my entire career. Even getting that Q1 at every single track is a challenge, so the pressure's really high as well. So as we go into the final lap of Q2, brake after the 50 as we did before, 4th gear, hold it in 4th up to 5th for the right-hander. Minimise wheel spin, but we had a really good first sector there. You'll see we're just up on the Delta, now going just down on the Delta, but you'll see it's a low 3 in the first sector, so it's pretty good. You can do a 0.2, and then for this next left-hander, we get a really good exit, so we eventually go up on the Delta, going into the mid part of Sector 2. We need a really good Sector 2 here, so carry the speed throughout this long right-hander, use all the track on the left, brake really late, down to 2nd, up to 3rd, and then this next left-hander, just rotate the car so fast, like get on the power mid-corner, just to get the rear round. And then here, unlike Q1 with the other lap, we get a really good exit. So we straighten off the car, V off the corner, get on the power really early. We're gaining down this whole left-hand section. Then for the final corner, brake really late, down to 4th. Turn the car as quickly as you can in an instant, up to 5th. Minimise wheel spin as we did before. 2.5 temps up, going to the finish line. So we're going to almost set a 105 here. It's going to be a 106.005. So a matter of thousandths off of 105 in Q2. Very strong lap. I thought at that point, P4, 1 minute to go, it's guaranteed Q3. Really happy with the lap. There was a few minor mistakes, but there wasn't anything major. And now we join Danny Moreno for his final lap in Q2. So he just scraped through Q1. He was struggling with Brazil. He, for whatever reason, just couldn't get the hang of Sector 2. I was admittedly stronger in practice, I think he'll admit, the morning of this race, and I felt like the stronger driver out of the two of us going into this qualifying session. But you're about to see an absolute madness. So basically, Danny's starting his lap, going into turn 1, down to 4th gear as I was, and then up to 5th for the left, although he goes in a bit later to 5th and he gets a very good sector 1. You can see his camera settings are slightly different, but he's using exactly the same monitor, so it's just personal preference really. And I will be making a video on my new camera settings that you're seeing in this video and in the couple of last F1 Esports videos. So yeah, I've seen a few comments, that will come. But anyway, back to the lap. Mid part of sector 2, Danny is 500ths up on a low 106, so currently on course for a 105. And as I say, I thought I was safe, but already I'm P8, and Danny here, if he gets this lap in, could relegate me to P9 or P10 now. So everyone's improving. Maybe a little factor of this was I set my lap too early. Maybe I should have been a bit braver and just, you know, go balls to the wall in the very last minute like Danny has and try and do my lap at the end, because track evolution in F1, in qualifying especially, is actually a thing. So it's important to leave it as late as possible. I didn't want to leave it too late that I wouldn't be able to set a second lap if I made a mistake, but Danny across the line, 105.937, knocks me out of Q2. I'm P11, that's where I end up starting the race, if you watched the last video, and I missed out by 0.02 of a second to Joni Tormula. And that was it. So I was at Q2, and yeah, Danny Moreno pulled that lap out of nowhere. That was a really, really good lap for a Q2 session where the track's not fully optimised. But just look at the grid. Look how close it is. It's absolutely insane. And to put it in perspective for you, I was less than 1/10 of a second off P1 in that session, and I was P11. So naturally, I was gutted. Felt like the world was against me in that brief moment. You know, luckily we had 3-4 hours before we had to go to the race, which turned out to be pretty good. Finished P8 in the finale of F1 Esports, but yeah, I was gutted with that. I think I had the potential as well to get in Q3 a good time, which would have put me potentially top 5. I had a really, really good qualifying pace at Brazil, but I didn't get to show it, and that was the reason why. So I made Q3 once throughout F1 Esports in China. Apart from that, there was some pretty rough moments, not going to lie, but that was a good example of why qualifying in F1 Esports is brutal. There's no other word for it, really. And that is the video, so make sure you like it and give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Sub to the channel for more stuff like this. I'll try and find more F1 Esports content to put on here as time goes by. But yeah, there'll be a camera settings video for F1 2020 coming very soon with my new settings, so look forward to that. But until the next video, I'll see you soon.